up, everybody? It's your girl Micca, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Micca, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. And happy Tuesday to everybody. How y'all doing out there? I'm gonna just look at the chat real quick. Pour it up. Do sis. All right, y'all. What's up? So it has been a crazy weekend. And you guys know I'm out here in DC. So all those protests, when I tell you they were out here, they were out here. The funniest thing about the protests, and we're going to get to that, right? And thanks for everybody pulling up. But we're going to get to the protests. But the funny thing was DC has a huge, and I do mean huge, immigrant and minority population, okay? Meaning Black and Latinos, okay? None of those people were out there. None of them. When I say none, I do mean none. And I'm just like, in a city full of Latinos and Black folks, none of them out here. So that got me to thinking that they were paid. And then I was proven right. So we'll get to that. But I want to thank everybody for pulling up. Thank Keon. Thank Lisa. Thank your car. Thank Mr. Robinson. Y'all are funny. Thank Mr. Robinson. Thank Marion. Thank Renee. Thank yeah, y'all know I gotta get my glasses. All right, so look, we're gonna start off with a little bit of pop culture, okay? Because of course, y'all know that's my roots. That's my heart. We're gonna start off with a little bit of pop culture. Now, for months, it's been speculated that Diddy is just definitely not getting out. However, Vlad, he's saying that Diddy just might be getting out. I don't know how true it is, but Vlad is, he one of them, and he's close to a lot of the people in the industry, okay? So I want to get into that really quick. I want to get into what Vlad had to say to academics, all right? Here we go.
All right, well, I'm not 100% sure of this, but someone I know who, if you watch Vlad TV, you've seen this person on my show.
It could be anybody.
Had a contact with the feds, and someone at the feds told him that Diddy's getting bail.
Really?
Yeah. Someone from the federal system told someone I know that Diddy's getting bail. All right, well, I'm not 100.
What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about the fact that Diddy can possibly get bail? Right? What do y'all think about that? You think he clout chasing? I don't know. I think he might be telling the truth. And only reason I say that is because he keeps his ear to the street. But, I've been watching this whole Diddy thing. I haven't been reporting on it as much, but I've been watching this whole Diddy thing, and I'm telling you, it's something fishy. It's something up with the whole thing. Lisa says he better not. Cap, y'all think it's Cap? Vlad is the feds. Exactly. Yeah. So I think Vlad might know a little something. I think he does, but we'll see about that. So I want you guys to get down in the comments and tell me, what y'all think about that. Do y'all think that Vlad knows more than he's saying, or like what's going on with that? All right. So my second pop culture entry here is none other than Miss Michelle Obama. Okay. So Michelle Obama, as we all know, has a podcast. Michelle Obama has a podcast, if y'all don't know. I know a lot of y'all don't, but she does have a podcast, okay? Don't make me laugh this early. I'm trying to be professional. Michelle Obama has a podcast, and we all know that it isn't doing so good. But I want to give you a little taste of what she had up the other day as what she was talking about on her podcast. All right. So here we go.
I think a lot of young people, a lot of people in general, because of their narrow view of what's possible, they find themselves limiting what life could look like. And I always challenge young people now to first think about your why. Don't think about the what. Don't worry about numbers and titles, because you can have all that. And I've seen people have it all and they're still not happy.
Right.
He could have a big, high paying job, a great career. Maybe he decides to get married, have kids, but then he'll have no time for them. And then he'll be disgruntled about that.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar. Stop checking boxes, first of all, and start thinking a little bit bigger about what a happy life can look like.
Is it just me, or does Michelle Obama, every time you hear her, she just sounds like she's not happy with Barack Obama? Like that she's never been happy with Barack Obama. Every time I hear her, like, ma'am, you have won in life. Okay? Like, you have won in life. Your man is or was the president of the United States. He basically runs the Democrat Party. Okay. I didn't support Barack, but anybody that thinks Kamala is ridiculous, I'm all for. So I'm just saying, like, you have won in life and you're still mad. I'm trying to figure out what she's mad about. Like, this blows my mind, right? That this person is always mad. So I want to know what you guys thought about that, right? And then on top of that, it seems like not a lot of people are supporting her. And I'm trying to figure out why. And so they created a couple of articles to talk about Michelle Obama and her low ratings. So are you guys watching that podcast? And I'm going to tell y'all this. I think that Michelle Obama is missing a good point that she could be making money off of, right? Everybody, all the women in the world look at this woman like she is God's gift, right, to Black women. So I'm trying to figure out, then why not do a podcast on that? Why not do a podcast on, even if you're lying, why not do a podcast on, trying to say how to get this type of man? Why not do a podcast on getting in your bag as a lawyer, as an attorney, as all of this? Like, why not do a podcast on that? Like, I never understand. It blows my mind every time. However, she has low ratings, and the Daily Mail said that it was abysmal. When I tell you they're going in on the Daily Mail, they're going in. So this is what they're saying. They're saying Michelle Obama humiliated amid abysmal ratings for a podcast she launched with great fanfare. And I don't think she had great fanfare. I just think she's Michelle Obama. I just really think she's Michelle Obama. So that's why everybody watched it, if you ask me. But those are my thoughts. So you guys get down in the comments and tell me what you think about that. All right. So now let's move on to Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds, I think, is going to be the next governor of Florida. But a lot of people, of course, the lefties, they don't like Byron Donalds at all. But what I saw this weekend blew my mind because, of course, Black people, if you know the community, they always say Black people can't be racist. However, ever since Donald Trump, Byron has been the most racist Black person. Okay. All the white people, all the white liberals get to call him a racist. And lately, they've been calling him a fascist. So I want you guys to see this. Like, this is insane that they're calling this man a fascist. Watch.
As a member, hang on. I'm sorry, ma'am. But as a member of Congress, because I was just in D.C. on Monday for Trans-State Visibility, and I would like you, as a member of Congress, to rise up and support LGBTQ plus youth and stop this fucking insane attack on our children who know who they are. Number one, no. Of course you're not, because you're a fascist. You're a trace. You're a race traitor and you're a fascist.
I asked you a question. Says you want to be. I said I don't agree, and then you start yelling at me. You call me a fascist. You call me a race traitor, and you want me to agree with you? What are you talking about, ma'am? I'm a constitutionalist. Ma'am, I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in freedom and liberty for everybody. I believe in the U.S. Constitution. I believe in everybody's citizen rights. But if I don't agree, hold on. But when I don't agree with you, then all of a sudden I'm fascist. That's what's wrong. If all you want to do is yell and scream and curse when I don't agree with you, I'm sorry, ma'am. You are now in the 20% of America.
You don't need to worry, because you will never get my vote, and you don't live here.
I'm gonna be your governor. Trust me.
You're not. No, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am.
The funniest part in that whole thing was, I'm going to be your governor. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. And the other funny part was, she had the nerve to call him a race traitor. Where did she get that from? Like, where does the white liberals, okay, this is why I tell you, they get on my last nerve. Where do they get all of this? I swear to goodness, they think that they're black. Like, sometimes I think that they either think they're black, like the ones that, a little too close. And then the other ones think they overlord over the blacks. Because when I tell you, she would not have been in my face like that with her finger. Like, where do you get the right to, one, be in a man's face like that? And then two, tell him with your finger in his face that he's a race traitor and that he's a fascist. Mind you, half of those people out there with the signs are being paid. They don't know anything about a fascist. Oh, she's beyond Karen. That woman is beyond Karen. Okay. And like I said, Byron is better than me. This is why I'm not a politician. Okay. Because the left right now, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but the left right now is saying that, violence is okay. Being punched is okay, because somebody's antagonizing. Okay, well, Becky with the thin hair right here, she is literally putting her fingers in this man's face. Like, what is the problem? Yeah, it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. That's why I'm not a politician. I swear to goodness. That's exactly why I'm not a politician. But, Byron Donalds has been getting heat ever since he went to the Breakfast Club, and Ratchet Crockett, big wig, ever since she went up there as well, saying that he said that Jim Crow was the best time for black folks, when he didn't even say that. The man literally did not say that. But, big wig, she can keep on churning. She can say whatever she wants. She says whatever she wants. Nobody checks her. Never. I don't understand. Okay? Like, she doesn't have any cachet in politics. She's a junior representative. I wouldn't even say junior. She's actually a freshman representative. This is her first term. She's not even Barack Obama status. So, why does she get to say these things? And that kind of, set the stage for Byron Donalds. So when Byron Donalds came up to the Breakfast Club, they already had, an idea of what they thought he was. I mean, the woman's up there talking about his wife because she's white. Okay. When we all know Kamala and her man, backhand Dougie is white. Nobody says anything about that. But yet we got to talk about Byron Donalds, the hypocrisy of it all. Big wig, she gets to say and does what, she wants to do, but it blows my mind. But this is what's happening down in Florida, okay, with Byron Donalds. So now I want to get into something that kind of teed me off over the weekend, right? Because I was watching, and I did a video on it, but I was watching the speakers down at whatever the march is. I don't know. Hands up, hands down, whatever. Swinging around. Whatever that march was, they had keynote speakers, and one of the speakers was a trans woman. Okay. And for some reason, trans women have been in the media all week. When I say all week, I do mean all week. Like they have been just out front. I don't know what they're trying to push, but something's coming. So I happened to run across this conversation with a trans woman and Dr. Phil. So I want you guys to check this out. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it teed me off, like, because she tried to play semantics when she understood what Dr. Phil was saying. All right. And I've seen this woman, this trans woman before. Okay. Here we go.
When you look at the science, and listen, it's not a matter of opinion. If you look at the science, the male advantage over females, there are functional differences between biological men and biological women. Men have 57% better grip strength. They have 54% better quad strength. They have 89% more bicep strength. They have 90% more upper body strength. They have 33% higher vertical jumps. They have 162% more punching power. If you get into specific sports activities in terms of running and swimming events, in running, they tend to be 12% faster overall. When you translate this into races, if you have a 12% difference between overall trans athletes, here are some examples to demonstrate the male sports performance advantage over a woman. A man would finish a 3,000 meter track race about a minute faster. A 100-meter swim, a man would be about 5.7 seconds faster. A 200-meter swim, about 11.5 seconds faster. A 800-meter swim, a minute faster. So when you look at those things, these are races that are usually determined by tenths or hundredths of a second. So how do you answer that, Blossom?
Absolutely. Respectfully, Dr. Phil, I'm going to need you to have several seats. Let's be clear. Trans women, again, are women. What you're showing me are male statistics, and trans women are not males. Everything that I said can actually...
Huh? Well, does she have a XY? The whole point in saying trans is because you are male, correct? Okay.
proven. It's scientifically proven. Because again, it's almost like you're trying to call trans women men, and that is not what
That's exactly what we're trying to do. Like, they make this argument trying to make people out to be transphobic when nobody really cares what people do in their bedrooms. Nobody cares if you want to walk outside like this. But let's be clear, you're not going to confuse the biology of it all. You're not going to confuse us. That's why I tell people I don't have these arguments. I have the argument of XX and XY. That's it. I don't use no other pronouns. Just, are you XY or you XX? That's it.
trans women are. Trans women work just as hard as cis women to compete. And when we talk about bone density levels, again, there are some women who are stronger and have faster agility than trans women. It is a case by case basis. I don't know why you're trying to group a group of trans people into one ideology that is false. It sounds like conservative propaganda. And I think you have drunk the Kool-Aid and have gotten lost in the sauce. I'm sorry, Dr. Phil, I'm going to disagree with you. And I think that the statistics that you've shown me prove nothing when it comes to trans women. Get up there and show me statistics specifically with trans women and cis women, and then we can revisit this conversation. Otherwise, I think you're being biased. I think that it is baloney and propaganda, and I think it needs to be fixed.
I'm I'm just looking at some of these comments y'all talking about. Like, I'm looking. So while she was talking, I'm looking at some of the data on it, and it says even after a year, like NBC News says, after a year of hormone therapy, they're still stronger. What is the argument here? Like, and she said, what? Dr. Phil drunk the Kool-Aid. Look, at the end of the day, trans is just that. It's transgender, okay? I don't mind people wanting to dress like a woman, think they're a woman, whatever. That's your business, okay? But when you start getting into things like sports, when you start, trying to take over women's spaces, I think that's when you have a problem. And that's why I was so happy when Donald Trump put in that executive order. Because let's be clear, a lot of women can get hurt playing against men. If the best athlete, the best female athlete is Serena Williams, then if she tells you that she doesn't even want to play against men, why would we be playing against men? Like, it's not transphobic. It's not transphobic to say something that is true. It's not transphobic to say, hey, I don't want to play the same sport and you got an advantage over me. You got a wingspan like Shaq. Why would I want to play one-on-one with you? I'm getting blocked. I'm like 4'10". Okay, it's not happening. Okay, I don't care how much hormone therapy you take. Okay, you can be Air Jordan. You can be like Mike. I can't do that. So what am I supposed to do? I just have to deal with it. Right. So you guys get that in the comments and let me know what you guys think about that story, because it boils me. Like, it gets on my nerves. Okay, like you have a whole XY. Like you have a whole XY. Okay, if you can go to the bathroom standing up, we cannot play sports together. Period. And that's just my thoughts on it. And it's no tea, no shade. It's no drama. It's just that we're not the same. You guys get down in the comments. I'm gonna leave that there before they cancel me. All right, so I want to move into Trump, okay? Because he has been the talk, of course, because Shaquille O'Neal. Trump has been the talk of the town because of these tariffs. All right. But they're also saying that he's losing. He's losing all of his court cases. He's not, he's not winning this. He's not winning that. He doesn't have any support. And I'm just like, since when Donald Trump doesn't have any support? Since when Donald Trump doesn't have support? Okay. Most of the country, if not damn near all of the country, supports everything that Donald Trump is doing. However, CNN wanted to make it like, that was not true. So I want to get into CNN having to admit that Donald Trump is not a lame duck and he is the man. All right. So we're getting into that right now. Here we go.
I think there was this concern among some folks that Donald Trump would come in for a second term and kind of be a lame duck. He ain't no lame duck. If anything, he's a soaring eagle. What am I talking about here? Let's talk about Trump executive orders in 2025. He's already signed 111 so far. That is the most at this point in a presidency in at least 100 years. In fact, it's the most in any single year, and we're only in April, since Harry S. Truman in the early 1950s. The bottom line is, whether you like Trump or you don't like him, you can't say that he's coming and not try to deliver on what he at least believes was his promises on the campaign trail, and he's doing so in historic fashion.
How are people reacting to and feel about Trump's approach?
Yeah, okay. So Trump's approach here, what are we talking about? Trump's approach to presidential power. I think the American people recognize what he's doing here is completely different. We're talking, get this, 86% of the American public believes that Trump's approach to presidential power is completely different from past presidents, compared to only 14% who believe it is in line with precedent. And we're talking about at least 79% of Democrats, independents, and Republicans. So again, you can agree or you can disagree with Donald Trump, but what you can't disagree with is that he's doing things very differently. I have used the Frank Sinatra quote before. He is doing it, quote unquote, my way. And that is what Donald Trump has done throughout both of his presidential terms. And he's certainly doing that, Kate Baldwin, in term number 2.
So completely differently, clearly they agree, but is it, take it a step further, do the people think he has too much, but he's taken too much power?
Yeah, this I think is the real question, right? You can believe that he's doing stuff completely differently, but do you think that he has a little too much power or not? And this is interesting. So Trump's presidential power is too much, the right amount, too little. Well, 47% say too much, but then you get 36% who say the right amount. Then you get 17% who say too little. So you're essentially dealing with a majority of the American public, 53%, who do not say that Trump has too much power. They either says he has too little power or the right amount of power. So the idea, that argument that Donald Trump is, quote unquote, a king, that I don't think holds with the American people. It does hold maybe with 47%, but with the majority of folks, they believe Donald Trump's doing something completely differently, and they don't believe he has too much power. And the executive orders he signed certainly suggest he's no lame duck. He is, as I said at the beginning, a soaring eagle.
And there you have it. So I play this to say they do all of this grandstanding, you know, Cory Booker up there trying to, you know, pretty much beat a record, you know, talking about absolutely nothing for 24 hours. C-SPAN is already boring. And now we have to listen to that, right? So you have that. You have Walmart Barack, okay? You have him talking. You have all of the Democrats going on MSNBC, CNN, and saying all of this stuff when half of the country thinks the man is doing a phenomenal job. Half of the country thinks the man need more power. They're not listening. Like, they're absolutely not listening. So it's like, okay, so what can we do? What can we do? Give him more power. And when I tell you they tried to stop him, okay, they tried to stop him with all these court cases when, who was it? Nancy Pelosi, A.O. Crazy, Ratchet Crockett, all of them have already said that the lower courts can't do anything to the president. But when it comes to Donald Trump, the lower court is supposed to be able to do something to the president, right? All right. But with that being said, Donald Trump scored a win. And when I say he scored a win, he scored a big win. So he scored a win with SCOTUS, and The View has something to say about it. So here we go.
Overturned a judge's decision to block the deportation of men allegedly members of a Venezuelan gang to a brutal prison in El Salvador. Now, this means the administration can continue deportations under the Alien Enemies Act, but the ruling makes it very clear that the detainees must be given due legal process before making the decision to deport them. Now, the White House is making it like it's a big win for them. They just got checked. Okay? They got checked. So, I mean, someone is paying attention, which is what we've been saying needs to happen. So go ahead.
You know, I have absolutely no idea what Whoopi's talking about. I never do. I just wanted to let y'all know that. And now we're about to watch Cloudy Holston give her 2 cents. But I absolutely don't know what Whoopi was talking about. If you guys know, let me know in the comments, in the chat. Just let me know, because I don't know what she's talking about. I couldn't follow.
No, it is somewhat of a win, because this act, this Aliens Act, is an act in 1800 that usually is used during war time. And it was used, we have to remember, it has such a stain on history because it was used to in turn Japanese citizens here in the United States. And so anything, it may feel like a win, but the fact that they're even recognizing that the executive branch has the power to do something like that under that act makes me feel squeamish. And the other thing is, this is a shadow docket of the Supreme Court. This is a case that needed to go before the entire Supreme Court. There needed to be briefing, there needed to be arguments, there needed to be representation so that we had much more clarity than this sort of what they're called a procurium, 4-page opinions by the Supreme Court justice. But what I will say is something that Susan Rice said, and I think we have a clip. This is not necessarily a win for the American people. But actually, I'm sorry, we have a clip from Trump who basically says, well, look what he says.
Back to El Salvador, the president there said he would be willing to take American citizens in the federal prison population. Is that one of the ideas you're going to be discussing?
Well, I love that. If we could take some of our 20-time wise guys that push people into subways and that hit people over the back of the head and that purposely run people over in cars, if you would take them, I'd be honored to give them. I don't know what the law says on that, but I can't imagine the law would say anything different.
So what he's saying is people that are American citizens, even people that were born here, if they've committed a crime, he would like to send them to El Salvador, to this prison.
Okay. Well, what's the problem? We already sent American citizens to Guantanamo Bay. What is she talking about? We have prisons all over the world that we send people to. Like, she's trying to act like she don't know. She used to work for the DOJ. She's not dumb. What is the problem? What is the problem? Barack Obama said he was going to close Guantanamo Bay. He still had people up there at Guantanamo Bay waterboarding him. What is the problem? Sounds good to me. And people would say, oh, our tax dollars is going for, I pay taxes for murderers and artists to have 3 meals and a cot every day. What is the problem? I'm not understanding what the problem is. Like, somebody tell me what the problem is. I'm gonna read the super chats as soon as Cloudy hosting crew is done.
Okay, but let's talk about the first part of what you were saying. And I think there's a misunderstanding, and because of the White House, the way that they are projecting it. The Supreme Court did not rule that the Aliens and Sedition Act is legal for them to be using. What they didn't rule on the legal issues. What they ruled on was that the court that had issued the injunction that had stopped the deportation flights didn't have the jurisdiction to do that. I'm sure these legal issues are going to go back to the Supreme Court and be ruled on. The problem is
they will be ruled on, but the problem is they sort of took a pass on a shadow docket and are going to.
No, they didn't. They didn't have the jurisdiction in the first place. Ratchet Crockett and gang said that. Okay. AOC said that, those district judges, Joe Biden should just ignore because they don't have the power to tell the president what to do. They're playing games here. Okay. At the end of the day, they know that the Supreme Court is the only court that has jurisdiction according to the Constitution. Like, I don't understand. I really don't.
They took a pass on it. They didn't rule it.
They're going to allow them to continue using it with the caveat that it's due
but
process.
let's be precise that they didn't rule that the Aliens and Sedition Act is
Alien
legal.
Enemies Act.
They have to. What the problem is, though, that they're not addressing the fact that there's 238 men in the worst hellhole in the Western Hemisphere.
They know.
And that 75% of them have been found by CBS 60 Minutes to not have any criminal records. Of the 22% that do have records, it's for non-violent offenses. So when Trump says they're terrorists, they're monsters, he is lying. He is absolutely making it up. And shame on the Supreme Court for not having made sure that Salvadorian...
Oh, the Nicaraguan queen. Okay. This woman doesn't know what she's talking about. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, she just hates Trump. Anything good about Trump, she's going to try to find some hole in it. But she's like, oh, well, these people, they came over here illegally. They're already criminals. Send them back. Send them back. We don't want them. Send them back. I don't care what Jasmine Crockett says. Send them back. All right. That's already one thing. Two, says who? Because a bunch of them have ICE records. LexisNexis, like, y'all can look this stuff up. And then 3, all she's basing all of this on is that man from Maryland out here, okay, who got sent to El Salvador. And when I did a video on that, I read the actual court document, and the actual court document states that it was okay. That it was okay to deport this man. He just wasn't supposed to go to El Salvador, because after all of his crime, after all of his all the stuff he was doing, okay, including, you know, messing with the people outside of Home Depot, okay, including that, because out here they be out front of Home Depot hard. All right, but I haven't seen it since this whole ICE thing. I don't see nobody out there. But at the end of the day, she's talking about that. That's what she's basing all of this on. She's basing everything on the fact that that one man was supposedly, and I do mean supposedly, not supposed to go to El Salvador because of a judge. And then they rescinded that. So the man is staying in El Salvador, okay? I don't care about his baby mama who's having anchor babies here. The man is staying in El Salvador. He's not getting any of my tax dollars, and neither is his baby mama. It is what it is. So that is what The View is talking about, okay? Anna, I know she's half Cuban, half Nicaraguan. We don't claim her. We don't want her. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about that. Now, let's move on. Before we get to Ratchet Crockett, let's move on to violence. All right. But before we get to that, let me read these super chats really quick. All right. Eric Watson, thank you for the $10 super chat. You're doing an amazing job, love. Keep up the great work. I believe in you. Oh, I'm the first person that's sent for you today. You know what? Thank you, Eric. Wait, right. Mr. Robinson, thank you with the $5 super chat. You look cute when you're at work. That forehead shining bright. You know it. Thank you. I appreciate it. I got a ring light that's like right there. It'd be killing me. And that's what I'm gonna do this week. I'm actually getting some lights and things this week. So hopefully I can not have a shiny forehead. But thank you for the super chat. Oh, this is what happens when you do stuff in the evening. You get people already drinking. All right. Thank you, Eric and Mr. Robinson. Appreciate that. All right. So let's get into this. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably saw this because it went viral, but I just happened to come across her response. And thank you, Molly. I just happened to come across this lady's response, who was a pro-life activist who got punched in the face. Now, I immediately knew from the accent that the woman that punched her was a Latina, and more than likely she's Dominicana. Okay, I know a New York Dominicana when I see one. All right. Now my people live down there in Florida. We don't do this. This Dominicans y'all gonna have to hold this L. All right. But I want you guys to see her interview she had with Newsmax. All right. After all of the melee, after going viral. Okay. So here we go.
So you went from saying that my outfit was really cute to saying I'm an effing idiot. That's so mean.
But I think that
you
your
did.
point of view it's very obstructed, and I think that you just don't understand the magnitude of having a child.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one who admitted they would be okay with killing babies in foster care and killing children that have been abused.
That's not the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
Wow. Left battered and bruised simply for asking questions and being an advocate for the unborn. Here to talk about what led to the attack and how she's doing now is the woman who always stands up for her beliefs only to be attacked for it. That's what the left does, folks, because they hate it when they're wrong. Please welcome Savannah Craven Anteo, YouTuber and pro-life activist. Savannah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I actually saw reading the New York Post, and that woman that attacked you gave an interview to them, and she said that she was provoked. I watched the whole video. You were simply asking her a question. That girl's from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. She does not represent us. What goes through your mind when you receive so much hatred to the point where you're physically assaulted simply because you are advocating for the rights of the unborn?
Yes, well, this is not a surprise. Since the fall of Roe v. Wade, we have seen an increase in violence toward pro-life activists, people that just don't want babies to die in the womb. It is absolutely.
Y'all, two things, okay? You got to be vigilant. When a woman has on an ill-fitted jacket, you got to know she's willing to do pretty much anything, okay? If you could come out the house with a jacket that don't fit, your purse can barely get around your arm. That woman is insane. And she should have saw it coming, okay? She should have saw that coming, all right? Anytime you see a woman looking like that, ma'am, you got to stand back. I mean, look at her wingspan. Look at her wingspan. I'm just saying.
Absolutely insane that there are people among us walking outside on the streets, but abortion is violence. Therefore, it creates violence.
So did you see it coming? Because you said initially in the
No.
video that she complimented you on your outfit, which you were wearing a beautiful dress there. You're wearing another beautiful one now. And then all of a sudden, this woman punches you in the face. She left you battered and bruised. Did you see it coming? Has this ever happened to you before?
I have been spat on and, of course, cussed out. I mean, that just kind of comes with how divisive this issue is in our country. But I never expected her to lay a hand on me. There was no obvious buildup to this. And many people will say they're from the Bronx. They say you should have seen it coming.
No.
But honestly, it was a straight, like a light switch went off. She just was totally normal, had good vibes when she first came up, and then boom, right in the face.
You clearly must have hit a nerve. I was a reporter for 15 years out on the streets of New York City, and never did anyone, and I asked tough questions, and no one ever assaulted me, thank God. But I have been cursed out and name called and this and that. What do you think it was that really?
Ma'am, you are just lucky, okay? It's no way you're about to have me as a reporter out in the Bronx, okay? Not for a night report, not for a day report, not for midday, okay? That is very dangerous to be out in the Bronx talking all that, because you know a lot of them have had abortions, okay? So what you need to do is you need to have a gun, period. Okay, you need that. All Latinos have a switchblade. Don't play it with me. Okay, y'all know it. All right, and all usually have like tasers, like something. Like, what are we doing? And then I'm gonna tell you where she messed up. She turned her head. If I catch it on this video, I'll show you. When she turned her head, a girl swung at her. You gotta be you got to look at your situation, and you got to have awareness. And a lot of people get comfortable, and that woman got comfortable. She still shouldn't have hit her, but she got comfortable knowing that she was getting all riled up, and she started moving. That jacket started lifting up some more. And I'm telling you, when they don't wear clothes that fit their size, ma'am, they're deranged.
They set her off.
Yes, well, I believe that this woman has been hurt by abortion like so many people have. And it's a shame. She has a deep-rooted hatred for a different opinion. She has a lot of pain inside of her, I believe. And honestly, what we can just do is
see her head. You see the head turn? You see the head turn, right? Now watch, she gets punched as soon as she turns away.
pray for her and hope for justice.
Right. The Bible says pray for your, I mean, I think it's few passages and not the straight terms, pray for your enemy, right?
Yes.
Pray for these people. Do you think she needs God in her life? Because it seems pretty demonic for her to do something like that. Here you are just asking a very logical question, talking about the unborn, which we know that it's life. Life begins at conception. We see that heart beating. I'm a mother myself. And to come out, we're seeing that. I'm comparing what she did to you, kind of in a way, to what we're seeing with the Tesla terrorists around the country. They're torching cars. They want to punch and attack. We saw what happened during the Summer of Love, the BLM riots. Why is the left so prone to hatred? We don't like something, we just don't buy it. We just ignore it. We move on. We say we want to pray for you. Why is the left, they go from victim to villain like that?
Yes, it's crazy. The party of science doesn't want to follow the science. They don't want to agree that life begins at the moment of conception and that reality can be up to you to create your own reality and that there's no real facts in life. And that was a good point. You know, when we wanted to stop buying Bud Light and stop supporting them, we just simply stopped buying Bud Light. But
ma'am, y'all should have stopped buying Bud Light a long time ago, child. That is the worst beer other than Milwaukee's Best. So, but I digress on that. The problem is that these women that are like her, not this young lady here, but that are like the woman that touched her, okay? They are already deranged. They are already gone. These women are gone. You're not getting them back. You're not getting them back. You're not getting them to admit when they're wrong, okay? You're not admitting anything. Okay? She won't even admit that the clothes don't fit. She literally walked out the store with a size 5 knowing she's 22. This will tell you right there, she's delusional. I'm going to wear it. I'm just going to wear it. It don't fit, but I'm just going to wear it. Am I right or no? Y'all tell me. That woman, it was personal, okay? She got personal. Not actually getting personal, but it got personal for that woman that hit her because she said something, and then I'm going to read the super chats after this. She said something that hit that woman. She said, I'm not the one that said it was okay to go and unalive children in foster care. Now, we know a lot of people on the left or, feminists and all that, they support, unaliving babies in the dark. But these babies are being unalived in the light. Okay? And that's the problem. She's talking about getting rid of babies that are already here. Like that to me, that's where this is going. Like, when she said that, I said, that's a demonic spirit right there. Like, it's something wrong. Like, it's something clearly wrong with you if you can say, yeah, why not get rid of kids in foster care? Man, because they're already here. Like, I know you can get rid of the ones you can't see, the ones that are little, the ones that are still in the womb and don't have a fighting chance, but these people are alive. May not be in the best situation, but they're alive. It's crazy. Let me read these super chats and then we'll get into the last topic of the day because I don't want to hold y'all. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. It says, no, I love that forehead. It's shinier. Not shinier. You know what? Thank you. Lord Jesus. Oh, Kelly Corinne. Hey, love. Thank you for the $10 super chat. So, Supreme Court made a ruling. Adios. I see. Yeah. Mañana. They gotta go. Gotta go, my friend. Back to home you go. De casa. Thank you, Kelly. Let's see here. Mr. Robinson. And yes, I'm gonna get my glasses before y'all start saying it in the chat. I know. I'm gonna get my glasses. Yes. Savannah should sue. Yes, she should sue for assault. Shaking my head for a difference in opinion is wow. She was in the Bronx, though. To your point, to the lady's point on TV, like, yeah. But I said this. I said, if you're not a fighter, sue her. I would say sue the clothes off of her, but as you can see, it's none there. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. I appreciate it. Next super chat. Thank you for the $2 super chat. All right, Abe the Hunter. In my world, she would have also been deported. Family too. I trust me. Trust me. I'm telling you right now. Call ICE. When in doubt, call ICE. Thank you for the $2 super chat. All right. And we have, thank you, $5 super chat. Glad to see you discussing topics the mainstream won't cover. Thank you so much. Your name, Bay. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah. The mainstream is not going to cover a lot of different topics, right? And, you know, in my videos, I really do try to cover popular topics, but I also like covering topics that a lot of people just won't touch or won't do a deep dive in. And I really think I'm going to actually start doing deep dives, and I'm going to start doing a lot of different stuff because I'm just so tired of not seeing certain things, right? The media wants what they want, so we don't even have to get into that. But thank you guys, thank everybody for the super chats, and thank you all for always pulling up when I do these lives. All right. So, last but not least, we came here for Big Wig, okay? Big Wig, she just keeps on churning, all right? Ratchet Crockett has opened her mouth again, okay? She has stepped in it again. Now, supposedly she's at a church, and she decided to give that same ratchet speech that she's been giving. The problem is, it's giving, I'm out of slavery, and now I think I can tell you who should be going back to slavery. Like, it's such a nasty argument. It's such a disingenuous argument when you're supposedly advocating for people. But nevertheless, this is, you know, the left. So I want you guys to see what Ratchet Crockett was saying to the congregation, like literally a church congregation. You know how she likes to say literally a church congregation. Here you go.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right, right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
So I had to go around the country and
That eye that's on her left, it's a mean one. Okay. Them lashes then did that eye in. It just be rolling and rolling. What is she talking about? Like, what is this woman talking about? Like, this is what the left thinks of people. All right. Now, regardless of what we all think about, you know, them allowing the illegal immigrants over here. Okay. They're people. They're human beings. She doesn't see them as human beings. She sees them as another class of people that can do slave labor, that can do cheap jobs. Okay? If Trump want to take jobs from China, we got a workforce. Give it to the legal immigrants. That's clearly what I'm seeing. Like, that's what she's saying. And this is not the first time that she has said it. She went viral before for saying that. Talking about, oh, we send our kids to college. We don't farm. We don't work the fields. But yet there are whole communities like the Amish who work the fields. Naturally, might I add. No tractors, any of that. The young ones, I don't know. They be sneaking cell phones. I be seeing it. But however, they work the fields. They farm. There's plenty of black farmers down in the South, okay? There's plenty of them. There's plenty of native farmers. Like, what is she talking about? Y'all, not y'all here, but in general, people push her up as if she's she is educated. She's not intelligent. She doesn't use a bit of intellect when it comes to talking about a lot of these things. she leans on the fact that she has degrees and has worked these types of jobs. But to me, she's just like Kamala. Okay, her and Kamala has come up the same way. Somebody gave her a job that she wasn't qualified for. Okay, you could say, yeah, she had a degree, but she had never worked that type of job. She didn't have the experience. However, somebody was willing to put her there anyway. Okay, same thing with Kamala. Somebody was willing to put her there. And then they get to come into, the House of Representatives. They get to come into the Senate, and boom, now they're a staple in the community. When she hasn't done anything, she has the worst record in Congress. She's never sponsored a bill. What are we talking about? Like, really, what are we talking about? And what makes this even worse, you guys? What makes this even worse is the fact that she's not the only one, okay? I don't know if you guys remember, but I remember this from back in the day when The View first started, okay? You guys remember this?
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm saying
there's more jobs to be
in LA, they always
but
they
Latinos are not only the only people
I didn't mean it like that. Come on. No, I would never mean it like that. Okay. Like, I'm not part of this argument with.
I think what you're saying is that Trump himself
he needs to look out his
probably
window and
relies on a lot of these people that he's insulting. I think
if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Who's gonna clean them toilets? That it sounds the same as what Jasmine Crockett said. Who's gonna clean them toilets? Who's cleaning the toilets? The Latinos, you gotta clean the toilets. Who is cleaning the toilets? The El Salvadorians, y'all cleaning the toilets? I don't know I really don't know what Kelly was talking about, because when you add it all up, like when you really add it all up, okay? If you go down to Miami, everything is Cuban, okay? From the toilets all the way up to the real estate agents, okay? And don't sleep on the maids. They got maid companies, them LLCs, and they go and work in these hotels that are ran by the Cubans. Okay, they go and work in these hotels or these homes, and people think it's, they don't have any money. Man, they got money and then go right back to Cuba. They fly back home on the weekend. Cuba is 90 miles from Miami. Okay, it is a Spirit flight, a 30-minute Spirit flight. I assure you. All right. Oh, thank you, Lani, mi corazón. Yeah, so at the end of the day, this is what the left thinks, okay? It's not the first time. It won't be the last time. They think that there should be a class of people that are on the bottom. That's what the Democrats thought back when it was slavery, because those are Democrats. All right. That's what they think now. It's no different. How is Byron Donalds a fascist and a racist, but Ratchet Crockett isn't? Big Wig literally is a racist. Literally is a racist. The very definition. But yet, we just keep giving her a pass. And when I say we, I don't mean us. Okay? When I say we, I do not mean us. Because I don't give her a pass. I go in on her every chance I get. Because that woman is a disgrace to everybody. And I do mean everybody. But at the end of the day, Key West, you can drive, like, you can literally drive down to the what is it called? This most southern point. I forget what it's called because I haven't been down there in a while. But yeah, it's like Cuba is right there. Everybody goes home on a weekend. Everybody goes home on a weekend. So when I tell you the left, this is what you get. This is what you get. And I just wanted to come on here and show you guys some of the nonsense that I just saw over the weekend, yesterday, and today. All right, so you guys get down in the comments, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought about all of these shenanigans, what you guys thought about the trans woman on Dr. Phil, talking about trans women are women and all that nonsense. Let me know what you guys thought about the white woman, the white liberal woman going against Byron Donalds. Let me know what you guys thought about, the protesters. Let me know what you guys thought about Trump and SCOTUS and how he has another win and how they're saying that, he's the Don Dada because most of the country pretty much agrees with him. Let me know what you guys think about also Diddy possibly getting out. Let me know what you think about Michelle or something that y'all like to call him. Let me know what you think about that podcast. All right. Let me know if you like that podcast, if you think it's going to do good, if it's going to do well. Just let me know. And last but not least, let me know what you think about Big Wig. Okay? Jasmine Crockett. Let me know what you think about her. Let me know if you think she's right or wrong. Let me know if you think that, she's just trying to keep the American fabric upheld with low class workers. It's slavery. And honestly, I can't believe that Black people are agreeing with this type of talk. It's outrageous. But you guys let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's your girl, Micca. Thank you for everybody that showed up. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, Outlaw. Thank you, Lonnie. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. I'm trying to see that. Marion. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Yakar. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Magstar. I'm trying to see everybody. I'm trying to always get everybody. Can't see everybody all the time, but thank you very much. Thank you all for pulling up. New videos tomorrow. More drama, but this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. I'll see you guys later. Peace. I'm out. Bye.